I am thrilled today to introduce to everyone my partner, Craig Hubert. Craig has been with Schaeferman for about 18 years. I have actually had the pleasure of being working on any number of committees with Craig for more than 20 years. I'll admit to that. Craig looks much better than I do after all these years, so that's good. But Craig is a specialist in personal injury. He has a subspecialty, which we're going to get to, and I'm going to let him talk about. But I'm going to introduce Craig. Craig and I, like I said, have been colleagues for many, many years. I'm thrilled to be part of Schaeferman and have Craig now as my professional partner. And Hester, good morning. Lisa, thank you. Rich, good morning. Rose, hello. Karma, nice to see you. So everybody's all excited. So without further ado, Craig Hubert, why don't you say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Sam. And when you use these numbers, I get a little bit scared. I realize how old I have become. And, decades it's been since we've known each other and worked together, through the local bar association, of course, and, on other professional matters. I know, how much you enjoyed being the president of the Mercer County Bar Association, as did I.
Yep.
Thank you for the very kind introduction. And hello to everyone out there. This is my first appearance on Saturday with Sam, and I look forward to many more. You mentioned that Tom Manzo appeared last week, and it so happens that Tom is a member of the personal injury team at the Schaeferman firm. And we work together, not just Tom and I, but there are 8 attorneys that do just, third-party personal injury work, representing victims of negligence, intentional conduct, and you might think, an auto accident. Sure, that's exactly what we're talking about. But, also persons who injure themselves in fall down accidents, as Sam mentioned, also into more complicated areas of the law where, a product may be defective. And we represent people in regard to product liability cases where they're injured from the normal use of a product. And it continues to other areas. And Sam mentioned, subspecialty. We do a lot of work representing victims of crime. And, we'll explain that more to you.
So and Craig, for me, just personally, I've always thought, when somebody says, "Oh, you're a personal injury attorney," the first thing that sort of comes to my mind is the car accident, the getting hit from behind or from the side or whatever. And I know that in getting ready for today, you and I had sort of had some nice conversations with regards to what does that mean. And so one of the first things I wanted to do, and what we try and do every Saturday with this program, has been to provide just information that people would walk away with and saying, well, gee, I didn't know that, or I didn't know that, and they get that information. Now they can apply it going forward. And that's always very helpful. So one of the first things I thought we would do before we sort of, again, teasing everybody into that subspecialty of yours. But I wanted to, just sort of talk about, if we are talking about a car accident, a personal injury car accident, are there any things? I've been involved in an accident. I guess the next question is, what should I do? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I certainly can, and I'm going to back it up just a little bit on you, Sam, and say, sure, people, when they hear, personal injury attorney, they do think a car accident, and sometimes, I've heard, jokes, about attorneys and personal injury attorneys, and even some derogatory terms. And I want you to know that, at our law firm, I'm very proud to be a personal injury attorney. I look at it, we're representing, victims of accidents, people who suffer injury, and also we're representing, victims of crime, people who need help. And when they need it the most, we're willing to come in and actually, take a risk and represent almost all of our clients on a contingency fee, meaning we're not asking them to open up their wallets or their checkbooks to retain us. We're on board representing them and getting them through the process and to the courthouse steps if necessary on this contingency fee. And I know that that's another program, Sam, that we'll if you want to invite.
Yeah, well, and I do want to say, I do want to say though, and as you can see, Craig is very passionate about that, and I have been on this show on Saturday mornings, and the people who have joined me on a regular basis know that there are certain things that just absolutely get me all fired up. And when I see an insurance company intentionally trying to deny a client of mine the rightful benefits that they're entitled to, or I have a story where the adjuster isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, or my client isn't getting paid where they're supposed to get paid, and they know I get all jacked up, fired up, and I'm like, we want to go get them. And as you can see, Craig sort of has that exact same passion. Again, another reason why I'm so thrilled to be part of Schaeferman Lake, and because the attorneys there have that same sort of, we're here to represent good people who have bad situations. And as a result of that, having that passion, having that enthusiasm about getting up every morning and going to work, putting the gloves on and really representing our clients is really just an absolute pleasure of being with Craig and the rest of the attorneys at Schaeferman. Rella, good morning. Lisa, yes, it is always entertaining when Sam gets fired up on a Saturday morning with Sam. So with that, Craig, why don't we talk about it? So I've been hit from behind at the accident scene. What should I do?
Well, the first thing that you should do, Sam, is, conduct a self-inventory. Let's call it that. And by that, I mean, how am I? How is my person? Am I hurt? Am I able to move? Am I, am I bleeding? Am I thinking correctly? Am I aware of, where I am, who I am, and things like, what am I doing? Your perceptions. That's important. Brain injuries, concussions, things like that can happen in a simple car accident, and the results can be devastating. So first you do that self-inventory. And one of the reasons you also do it is passengers in your vehicle. It's just like flying on an airplane when they tell you, if there is a bad situation and the oxygen masks come down, put on your mask first, then you can help others. Well, it's similar in an accident that occurs on the roadways. You want to be able to help and assess the occupants of your vehicle. Real important. So after you've checked yourself and others, one of the first things that you really want to do is, make sure that you're going to get help for yourself and others to the extent you need it. But you want to dial 911, and everyone's got the ability to do that, and you only do it, of course, afterward. I don't want to see anybody using their phones at any time.
Yeah, no texting and driving. No texting and driving.
Free. Okay. So you want to get law enforcement involved. 911 takes care of that efficiently and immediately. And they'll also ask you often, is anybody hurt? Real important. Let them know that, because getting an EMT to the scene to, at least assess you. But if not, more importantly, get you emergency medical services beyond what is offered by the EMTs, but to a local hospital. Real important, immediate trauma that had just been, visited upon your body. You want to keep thinking about your health and about safety, and not just your own, but others. Is your vehicle in a position on the roadways, such that it's a hazard to other vehicles? All right. If you can safely move your car off the roadway because it's a danger, then do so. Put those hazards on. Again, think safety. Now, in the event that you can get out of your vehicle and do so safely, do so and get yourself to safety and leave the vehicle where it is. Don't worry about that. And in fact, it also tells law enforcement when they arrive a little something about how the accident occurred. Don't be reluctant to seek safety and leave your car where it was, as long as you can do so without causing hazards to others. You want to turn your engine off. You want to make sure you're visible. And, again, on the roadway, if it's dark, you're on the shoulder, please try to move yourself as far from harm's way as you possibly can. It's bad enough you were in that initial accident, but trust me, sometimes that can just be the beginning of the parade of horribles, because people put themselves in a vulnerable situation and it leads to a second, and often more traumatic injury. So be aware of that. You also want to take the time to exchange information. Now, law enforcement often will facilitate this for you, but sometimes it takes some time for law enforcement to arrive. And you go to the people who are in the accident with you, if you're able, and exchange personal information, insurance information, learn the identity of the person, and even witnesses. These people, these witnesses who stop and say, "I saw everything. I will testify if necessary." People say that on the roadsides, the Good Samaritans, but you know what? Sometimes they don't hang around long enough to speak to the police, and that person's identity is gone forever. If you are physically able, jot down names of people who observed the accident. Also, you want to know the names of the law enforcement officers who came to the accident, if you're able to gather that as well. Now, we all have cell phones. I mentioned that earlier. So you have it right at your fingertips, not only to call 911, but you have the ability to document information. And what is some of the most important information at a car accident scene? It's the condition of the persons and the conditions of the vehicles. Those conditions change, and they change rapidly. So take those images, record those images while you can. You may never see your own vehicle again because your insurance company doesn't want to pay certain storage costs, which can be expensive, because they feel that the vehicle is already totaled and it's going to be gone. So take as many of those images as you can. And of course, if you are not able, you're the only one in the vehicle and you're going to the hospital, which is a shame, but it doesn't mean it's the loss of those particular images. Go have a family member, a friend, someone go to where the vehicle was towed to. Law enforcement will tell you that right away. They're not hiding anything from you. It's your vehicle, remember. And often you're going to find that the other vehicle or vehicles involved in the accident are at the same tow yard. So your family members or friends can record those images before they no longer are available for you to document. Real important, documenting what happens, at the accident. Now, you want to get a copy of that police report eventually. And I learned this from people who call our office. They've just been in an accident, but we're waiting for the police report to come out. And I tell them, listen, we think that your most important role at this point is to try to get yourself better. Right. Seek health. That's enough to concentrate on. As far as getting the police report, we can get that. We can probably get it much faster than our client would be able to do so.
Well, and I know, Craig, I mean, not to interrupt you, but I know that one of the advantages of the firm is that they have the resources and the ability to take care of the things that sort of will pop up in the front portions of a situation like this, and gathering the police report, making sure medical bills are paid. Those are all things I know that the attorneys and their staff, the staff at Chaverman, fully equipped to do all of that. And again, I think one of the philosophies is simply we're here to try and make these bad situations as best as possible based on the kinds of representations that you and the other attorneys who do this kind of work provide, right? One of the things that I do know that I often hear, and I definitely want you to talk a little bit about, and then we're going to sort of talk about your specialty, a little subspecialty, but one of the things I always hear sometimes people will say, like, well, how come I've got to tell my insurance company? The other car hit me, so why is it that I've got to report this to my insurance company? Or how come I got to sue my insurance company? And can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. And, I want to, disavow, anyone of the feeling that, you should keep this information of an accident to yourself and only worry about, let's find out the wrongdoers, the person who was violating our motor vehicle laws. And we want to make a claim against their insurance company. Of course, we want to do that. And I'm going to do that for you and my staff. Absolutely. That's one of the first things that we do. But we want to put your own insurance company on notice of the accident. And that's true for many reasons. and reasons that help you when you think about it. First of all, your insurance company, it's in their interest to also establish that you are not at fault in this accident. They're going to do some investigation. They have a team of investigators, believe me, and they know, how to contact law enforcement as well to learn more details about an accident. So we want, the insurance company on your team. We also want them to know right away, so they have the ability to get information and documents. We talked about how things disappear just a few moments ago. Your insurance company wants the opportunity to gather information and to record it right away while it's still available. And that, again, is to help you. You have a duty, your insurance policy. Now, this is a contract thing. You're supposed to cooperate with your insurance company, and some people may have that reluctance. But when it comes to reporting the accident, you want to do so right away. And again, this is something, Sam, that I tell our clients all the time. That is another item that we can do for you, and we do for you right away. I mean, you, again, as our client, our injured client, we want you to concentrate on getting better. We'll take care of the aggravation. Let us deal with the ag. That could be, the initial reporting, but then you're going to be dealing with insurance companies through the course of the claim, and our staff, our attorneys, are well equipped to do that. I tell my family, I think that I spend most of my day fighting with insurance companies.
Right. The big bottle of Advil is definitely on the side of the thing. Absolutely.
But let us, Sam, let us take the Advil for you. We want to do that for our clients, and make sure that they're able to, get their life back on track. Some of these people that we represent who have been involved in serious trauma, their life is upside down. They perceive it that way. They're not able to go back to work. Perhaps you're very familiar with that.
Sure.
They may not be able to engage in the activities that they enjoy the most. They may not be able to adequately, contribute to the child care for their children, their own children. And this is enough for them to worry about and to try to correct, let alone on top of it have to deal with, the insurance, reporting claims. And we're talking now about reporting as to liability and how the case happened, but there's another component in New Jersey. New Jersey is a no-fault state, which means that most people on their own insurance policy, they've elected to have their carrier pay their medical benefits. Now, there's people out there are saying, "Wow, you mean I'm in an accident, I'm rear-ended, I have no fault whatsoever, but my own insurance company is going to pay my medical bills?" Well, there's a reason for that, and it makes sense. A long time ago, the legislature enacted this no-fault law, and it's to make it easier for victims of an accident to get their medical bills paid. Their own insurance company does that through PIP, personal injury protection, also called no fault, and your own insurance company, should they choose to do so, may go after the other insurance companies of the wrongdoers to get paid back. But again, you don't have to worry about that aggravation.
Right. So those are, exactly. And great points. And I want to say thank you, Craig. I mean, I truly appreciate it.